Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Hope all is well. Be sure to watch until the end of this video. I will be going over a few charts and tell you specifically where I see XRP heading. But first, I want to kind of cover some additional news. Appreciate all of you that like and sub, and let's get right into it. So again, recent news with Binance, guys. Why do I always shill Binance US, the exchange? Because they have over-the-counter options. Instead of having to pay, and do $100,000 buys if you're, an accredited investor or an institution, you can do this as a retail investor, buying crypto in bulk privately, not on the public order books. This is a really great. And again, they of course have a bunch of, assets on Binance US. But the cool thing is, they have a few listed right here with the portal. You can do it yourself. If you actually wanted to buy and you had, big bags and you wanted to buy over the counter and they didn't have your asset, maybe you wanted, Atom or Ontology or some asset that is not listed here at the moment, you can actually reach out to them and they will help you do that as well. So again, old school, I'm really excited for all of this. So now Floridians can actually do this. I know many of you have used the link in the video description. If you have not created an account, again, video links are in the description. Again, simply the future, buying and selling XRP over the counter without worrying about, massive slippage. Again, the order books are developing liquidity. Just wanted to kind of share that and hoping that, again, Binance US opens their doors for Texas next. All right. So to get into recent information, let's see where we're at. So again, that recent video I did kind of talking about Emi Yoshikawa of Ripple. What I want to emphasize is this. So we know Ripple has a vision of the internet of value that realizes a world where money value can be exchanged freely. Blockchain, guys, the catch-all term, has a wide range of applications: intellectual property, insurance claims. True automation via smart contract capability. The sky's the limit, specifically with all of the technology we see coming today that can actually enhance and work and interoperate. We have VR, we have voice, we have cybersecurity. They are all going to work together in some type of new cohesive technology. It's going to be absolutely insane. I know 18 months ago, I've been talking about how voice is going to be one of the biggest things ever. And look at this. Less people are reading and more people are going and navigating towards podcasts. Your home, smart homes now are utilizing voice. Your remotes, more so than ever, are utilizing voice. These are the trends you have to capitalize on. All right. So again, right here, blockchain has a wide range of applications, but all interactions lead to value exchanges. That is a bold statement. Guess why? Because you need a medium of exchange. You need a finite supply on a network potential. You don't necessarily need a finite supply, but again, we understand the benefits of that to obviously prevent spam and, mitigate costs of hackers with DDoS attacks. That's a sidebar. But again, guys, this is powerful. All interactions via blockchain lead to value exchange. So how do we exchange said value? A bridge asset, a medium, a token. And I think you guys understand that XRP can play a huge role in this, much more than just on-demand liquidity. That is, again, the initial use case to get their feet wet, to start developing depth of liquidity within the order books. The sky is the limit. And if you think that Ripple, the company, is only focused on boxing themselves in that, you are entirely incorrect. Yes, they are spending hundreds of millions of dollars with other ecosystems to develop use cases. They're not working with groups like Algorand and Logos Network in developing other use cases with PayID, and working in the derivatives market or on the XRPL for micropayments and streaming for fun. This is because they want XRP to be as liquid as a G10 currency. You saw that WebEx a few weeks ago, maybe last week, with Brad Garlinghouse, CEO, and a congressman. They asked if he still wanted, or the goal was, XRP to still be as liquid as a G10 currency, meaning the top 10 most liquid currencies in the world. And Brad Garlinghouse said, I'll read the quote probably in this video, but he said something along the lines is, I'm reticent on, giving you a price prediction in terms of timing, but yes, that is the goal. I don't think people comprehend what that means. And I can tell you one thing. It does not mean XRP will be valued at $1. That is not how the tokenomics work whatsoever, specifically with, obviously a very minute burn rate, which really doesn't affect price, but holding and stockpiling XRP, combining with speculation and utility, combined with potentially putting assets on top of the XRP ledger or collateralizing XRP for algorithmic stablecoins. Again, the sky's the limit. Anybody that tells you XRP cannot go do this, that is, a price limit is a price prediction. And just simply watch what happens. All right. So right here, guys, this was from June 2020, but it's kind of pave into what I want to talk about. So again, June 2020, on Ripple's website, policy framework for digital assets in India. Again, India, one of the BRICS nations, straying away from the US dollar, status, their reserve status. Okay. It is a threat to the US dollar. We have groups like Goldman Sachs finally acknowledging it and realizing as gold is going up in price, something's going on here. All right. I don't listen to groups like JP Morgan, obviously. They are the manipulators holding, huge amounts of silver. It's, I don't listen to groups like that. They tell you what they want to in the news just to shill it. Okay. So right here in 2019, we're aware that, again, we had Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse. They actually penned an open letter to the U.S. Congress urging legislators to support fintech regulation, fostering responsible innovation, and protect consumers. Again, the narrative, China is ahead in this race. We have to step up. We have to take part in this. Otherwise, this innovation will take place in other countries and already is, to be honest. So are we lighting a fire underneath the United States? Are we getting ahead? What are we doing? Now, we also know the connections to India. We know the customers. We know, our buddy, the former Reserve Bank Governor, Dr. Rajan. Of course, he spoke at Swell as well. I mean, we are entirely connected with all the top tier, high caliber people in this ecosystem. You'd have to probably do, 2 years of research to probably get, all the names. It's absolutely insane. And again, this is all by a cigar Sarpai, excuse me. So right here, they actually did and wrote an effort to the Indian policymakers, guys. And I know many of you have gone over this. And really, I just kind of want to go over this. So again, it was on ripple.com. They have this little download you can get if you want. And just showing the foreign exchange exposure of the payments with XRP. Again, showing this as that bridge. And this is, between the United States. So the foreign exchange exposure of the payments, including the exposure of XRP, because people are concerned about volatility per se of, the rates always changing, is approximately 90 seconds, down from 1 to 3 days using traditional technology. And you guys are going to go, 90 seconds? What are you talking about, Kevin? You always brag about XRP going 3 to 5 seconds. Yes, that's over the XRP ledger itself. But keep in mind, there's other things that require, people to click, human, actual involvement on the software. So right here, typically, with foreign exchange exposure with a currency, you're transferring it 1 to 3 days, okay? And this can vary based on the withdrawal processing time of the local exchanges. There's tons of variables, guys. I don't think we're going to know and be able to basically, estimate and kind of get an average across the board. But the end-to-end payment process is coordinated by the on-demand liquidity software, and this typically takes less than 2 minutes. So some is shorter, some are faster. All right, so remember, XRP over the ledger itself, 3 to 5 seconds. But the local exchanges still have to obviously buy it and sell it. And this is based off of market makers, liquidity, the spread. How big are these payments? It's a $50 million transaction. It could take time in an early market. So again, that might not be worth the savings yet. And that's why they start with smaller payments and are gradually building that over time. All right, now, could they do this rather quickly? Potentially. It depends if you, believe that they're actually just going to start putting and offloading a bunch of volume on the ledger itself. All right, so keep that in mind, guys. And again, they list XRP 37 times in this document, so just wanted to share that. And again, this is the path forward for digital asset adoption in India. So again, urging Indian policymakers to step up. Okay, now this is huge. This is going to pave the way for other countries. We'll also mention, groups like Russia as well. We're well aware of what's going on with Brazil. Just pay attention to these groups. Remember, Ripple was even meeting with China's central bank, the People's Bank of China as well, in 2017. All right. So right here, now is the time for Indian policymakers to take the forward-looking approach that many other jurisdictions have taken. Responsible usage of blockchain tech and digital assets can introduce tremendous potential to the Indian economy. Under a clear regulatory framework, consumers and businesses can confidently take full advantage of and operate within a safe environment that encourages the use of innovative tech. We urge these policymakers to implement, a regulatory framework that is technology agnostic. Interesting. Principle-based and risk-adjusted. In the words of Garlinghouse and Larson, you have the world's attention. Let us come together and seize the moment. Again, they are offering to work together, public and private teaming together, the same narrative that we're seeing across the board with many groups. It goes way beyond just Ripple, guys, but I wanted to show you that. And this is the asset that you are invested in. This is the right asset class. All right. So next, I want to talk about this. Matthew LINY sharing this. Go time for R3 Corda, one of my favorites. I think nobody's paying attention to them, and we absolutely have to. You guys can disagree. I know some of the smartest people in the community are kind of split even. I know, some people don't believe that Corda will ever utilize XRP, though it was named the first and only asset so far capable for settlement. But they are not capable, but chosen. And we, have conspiracies with the lawsuit and how much R3, if any, they own, how much XRP they own. But again, guys, to each their own. So we know the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, authorizes, I'm going to say ARCAX, but it might be Archax, as the first digital securities exchange in the UK. This firm already has 35 issuances in place. Excuse me. All right, and again, right here, tokenizing the real-world assets using blockchain tech not only modernizes and simplifies the capital raising process, okay, so capital, money raising, it also helps facilitate liquidity in assets that are difficult to trade. And again, all of these assets are going to be tokenized, and they also have to foster and build an ecosystem over time that is entirely liquid. And we also need liquidity on demand, so to speak. Interesting. All right. Digital securities also enable democratized participation through fractional ownership. We know the benefits. R3 talks about it as well in their documents. Asset fractionalization is another term for it, and the creation of global secondary markets, according to the firm. Something to pay attention to. And again, the FCA has been very, very busy in terms of regulation lately. We know, as we can see here, this article was here 2020, but we understand that this happened a while ago. The UK Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, does not consider Ripple's XRP to be a security. Well, a lot of other countries like Thailand have, followed suit, whether they issue XRP or consider it a commodity, utility exchange token, etc. It's not a security, period. So we'll see what happens if, the CFTC or any other group comes in to regulate it and officially declare it. But again, to me, this is all an act. The lawsuit is just all an act to me. If you guys are, find yourself to be very conservative and smart and only go off the facts, I respect it. But I think this is all just a complete charade after a few years of research. And that's just my opinion. Bottom line, I think we're both going to be right because this asset class is going to explode and it is simply a matter of time. All right. And that goes for assets across the board. So we have right here, XRP Crypto Wolf sharing this again, FCA. The UK regulator wants crypto firms to share money laundering data. All cryptocurrency exchange providers and custodian wallet providers must provide the FCA with a report about their financial crime, irrespective of their total annual revenue. Again, transparency. It's really, really interesting what's occurring right now. We have this narrative of going cashless, right? We have, in the United States here, a lot of places are closed down, small businesses. What's interesting is they can also utilize this time to find, restaurants or different businesses. And now that we're going less cashless and kind of forcing to go digital, they can almost pay attention and go, these businesses were supposed to be suffering. How is their cash flow still so high? Are they responsible for money laundering? This could be a way for the authorities to kind of really check in and see, some corrupt individuals and find that. Again, XRP Ledger, everything will be viewed, okay? And we're seeing this trend. I don't think I can potentially stop it, so I'm taking part in it to make money, all right? Some of you might hate me for that, but so be it. All right, so we talked about Binance US, open to Florida. Hopefully Texas is next. All right, if you guys have already seen this, don't worry about it. You can go to the next video, but I wanted to share this. So Lazarus sharing some actual screenshots of Brad Garlinghouse responding to that WebEx. And yes, I can confirm this is all legitimate. I watched the WebEx, kind of went through all of this, and he was answering some questions for people with the congressman. All right, and also the CEO of, I believe, BitPay. I'll have to double check that. So right here, just for fun. Not for fun, but, literally for showing you guys what he literally said. So Brad Garlinghouse, from my point of view, Flare is combining the best of XRP, very fast settlements as the asset, correct? And we don't want to just put smart contract capability on the XRP ledger because then it would, obviously have congestion and kind of experience what Ethereum is today. And then we have Ethereum, smart contracts, and Avalanche for consensus. Okay, that's entire consensus mechanism, which helps extend XRP's utility and allows development to create smart contracts for new use cases like lending. Interesting. Remember, RippleNet's working on lending as well. We have other use cases. We have, collateralized debt positions. Many groups are working on this, and DeFi is simply going to be the future. It's going to be many assets that take place in this, and I'm really, really excited. All right. Let's see. All right, right here. Here's the question right here. Do you believe a digital asset can be used, or a digital asset can be as liquid as a G10 currency? If yes, how far in the future do you see this happening? He said, without a doubt, I'm reticent to predict timing, even though COVID have impacted the pace of digitization of everything. So hard to predict. Now, interestingly enough, he says, I was reading something earlier, and he says, COVID, this whole pandemic, it's definitely expedited certain things, but also slowed certain things down. So again, a bittersweet, type of acceleration. Let's see. Recently tweeted that we have done more than 7 billion in transactions on RippleNet. A great start, but still very early in the marathon. And then again, talking about digital assets, XRP positioned. So I just want to kind of see a few things here. All right. Right here. Now, this is regarding FedNow, guys. For some of you newcomers, you might think that, anything and everything has to do with XRP directly. And yes, XRP can potentially have a domestic use case in the future, but one thing at a time. They need to focus on, the biggest pain points that we have today in terms of international cross-border payments. All right. So again, just asking, questions about SBI Ripple Asia, as they did announce that they should be going live this year with no target date. And this is on-demand liquidity, guys, meaning that SBI Ripple Asia, this is a huge group, will be utilizing XRP. Now, these groups in the crypto asset space are notorious for delays, but obviously Brad Garlinghouse says, without giving a day, that he's optimistic for sure, making progress, and no public statements yet about timing. All right. And then right here. So this gentleman, can you please speak if you believe Ripple's technology, not just saying XRP, but technology suite as a whole, will ultimately be implemented to FedNow? And again, he goes on, just like we expected. FedNow is domestic. For now, Ripple is primarily focused on cross-border, but certainly the opportunity to integrate seamless, real-time cross-border into FedNow makes sense. Need to get FedNow live first. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with that type of sentiment. All right, and then right here, answer impact on Ripple's progress. I think we already said this. Oh, here's what I was saying. So COVID has created both tailwinds and headwinds to our business, but overall, I'm optimistic we will meet or exceed our 2020 goals. Well, I really hope so, because Ripple was bold enough to call the year 2020 the year of the digital asset. So let's see if we really end up with, obviously a bang, because that is what I personally want. All right. And then right here, Brad answers questions about backing XRP with another asset. All right. And right here, talking about it. Brad, not sure if the question got lost. XRP can possibly be backed by something. And he goes, as I'm sure you know, XRP is open sourced and decentralized. Not sure how this would happen. One could issue a new asset on the XRP ledger backed by something, I suppose. And again, this is kind of reminding me of what David Schwartz was talking about with this algorithmic stablecoin proposal. All right. Truly, truly powerful. If you are collateralizing XRP on the side, this will, basically create massive demand. Now, this is a hypothetical scenario. Don't get too excited, but the potential is absolutely there. All right. And then we have Stefan, Pear, CEO of BitPay, confirming that BitPay will use PayID. No surprise, guys. Shouldn't even need to go over that. And then also asking about Robinhood listing for XRP. Should be a matter of time, guys. we're talking about one of the top 5, top 10 crypto assets. But again, big boys are going to get their feet wet before allowing it to everyday people. All right. Again, sharing the FedNow. And then also this, Brad, did you see Julia Chatterley's interview with Brian Brooks, again, OCC, yesterday? He used the pack a briefcase full of money and flight example that you always use. And keep in mind, Brad Garlinghouse has used this phrase for a good 2 years. And he goes, I saw that. Brian is great. They have all the same talking points. Watch Craig Phillips. Watch also Chris Giancarlo, former CFTC chairman. He's an advisor for Ripple. He's also a part of the Digital Dollar Project. He is using the same talking points that Chris Larson, that Brad Garlinghouse have been using for years. That is not coincidental. All right. All right, and then also just finish up with this before I talk about the charts. XRP Crypto Wolf, Colombia's technology ministry endorses blockchain and crypto. Again, another country, as we can see, launching a draft guide that calls for the public sector to adopt blockchain, including crypto payments related matters. Again, payments is going to be one of the most immediate use cases that we need. This is going to be the internet of value. Information is relatively, efficient, but again, blockchain is also going to serve as technology to make it more secure, to make it more trusted, to make it more resilient and redundant. The sky is the limit, guys. If you are not excited to be in this space, even on these down days in the market, I don't know what to tell you. This money, this market is going to change many lives. My biggest concern is that people are going to be blowing their money too fast. They haven't taken this bear market seriously to properly inform themselves of, plans, of roadmaps, instead of sitting and, watching videos. And I guess watching videos is good because you're informing yourselves, but you can go and do something and really take advantage of this market. And those that do it properly are going to make some big moves. Learn to have that money work for you. Don't let it just sit there. I was talking on Twitter earlier, maybe in, the 60s and 70s, having your money sit in the bank was the smart thing to do with, at least compounding a little interest. But nowadays, that whole concept is dead. The US dollar is reaching an all-time low, a several-year low. We've had metals and crypto right in front of you being suppressed for several years, and now we're starting to bubble up out of it. Just watch. It's going to go trickle, 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 flood. This will occur, all right? And right here, Russia Bank is said to have issued the country's first crypto-backed loan. I know many people have already seen this, August 19th. So again, this has to do with the Waves token. This is also on Binance.us if you guys are interested. All right, just talking about all of this. I mean, basically, Russia did have a law in terms of right here prohibiting cryptocurrencies as a means of payments in the country. And again, this will come into effect from January 2021. But again, all of the nations around the globe, another BRICS nation, is experimenting into these open-sourced protocols. That alone should tell you that they are going to play a role in the future of finance. And then once they really get that overall, handled, it's going to go well beyond that. Remember, blockchain is going to require exchange of value, period. Whether it is staking tokens, whether it was, anything revolving around, DeFi and actual decentralized oracles. This is the future, all right? And then last but not least, and then we'll kind of go over the charts, Goldman Sachs, again, guys, this is from July, warns the dollar's grip on global markets might be over. And then we have, huge bulls finally talking about gold. This is a game of manipulation. This is, extremely obvious. We still have a few more months for this play to play out. And I wholeheartedly think that XRP will play an instrumental role in this, all right? If you're conservative, that is fine. If you are, excited beyond belief, that is fine. But again, you guys can believe what you want, and I'll do the same. I believe in this asset class. I am not trying to, lie to you guys or exaggerate to make you feel better to watch this video. It's truly my sentiment. And if that bothers you, so be it. Go find another channel. I am beyond excited, and I want to keep covering this because when all is said and done, I want to come back and show all these videos and look at all these people and go, wow, we all saw this coming. A bunch of us lunatics saw this coming and made it happen, period. All right, so I have Polkadot and Atom right here side by side. But again, I just want to reference what we're seeing with Bitcoin in the market. We know for quite some time that many people believe that Bitcoin will have to close that CME futures gap and potentially wick down. It could be quick, it could be slow. I personally am seeing a pretty, quick motion coming within the next week or so. And whether we, do a flash wick to 9,500, I think it's safe to assume for me and my personal trading that we're going to see Bitcoin go down to 10,500. Could I be entirely wrong? Could this be the final fake out of the fake out? Yes. So again, not financial advice, simply my opinion, guys. I'm wrong, I'm right, 50-50. Long term, though, I think we know where this market is headed. All right, so what's going to happen then is that obviously we know Bitcoin is notorious for dragging the majority of the market down. Some assets have already gone up, a couple 100%. Don't be surprised for them to take a breather. We have, ADA right here at 11 cents. We have VeChain, again, down just a bit. Do not take your eye off the prize. For me, these are buying opportunities. If you guys have your bags filled, sit on the sidelines, simply watch. I am fairly certain that we are going to be out of this shortly. And again, XRP, some people are predicting that we could potentially go down to 21 cents, which is crazy to me. We know the overall trend. And while people were, screaming that XRP is going to go to 38 cents, 46 cents right now, I was saying that, obviously with the gap, I was looking at 25 cents for another buy. And I was goofing around and, saying on Twitter, I was praying to the crypto gods for another opportunity. I'm personally have, a good chunk in DOT right here, DOT. Just for now, kind of swinging it. I've been emotional in and out. I definitely lost my position because I was being stupid. But yeah, Mr. Level Up kind of saved me last night because he told me the market was going to go down. So I took a good chunk of my portfolio and went on the sidelines. So happy with that move thus far. And the reason why I'm showing you DOT is because we're just kind of looking at these patterns. And this is just something that I was seeing. And funny enough, Polkadot Pepe literally said this morning at 10:50 a.m. So I was literally like, you read my mind because last night I had it side by side. He knows this stuff when it goes to DeFi. He's definitely talked about some great projects well before they went up. So I definitely try to keep an eye out because, I live in my own little tunnel with XRP news and trading certain assets, but there's going to be opportunity across the board. All right, so we have DOT right here. I'm seeing this type of motion breaking away from the pivot point, and essentially kind of making it all the way to the R3. And if you notice a lot of similarities, they often rhyme. They're not verbatim. They're not, the exact to scale. That's not how you look. You have to be creative and kind of understand how these markets move. As we can see, Atom on a 2-hour low time frame broke up and went right up to its R3. So I am just speculating for myself as just fun. Let's just watch if DOT can make it up to that R3. Keep in mind, people, the typical investor is going to say, you're an idiot. This, asset has already gone up so much. Why are you doing this? And that's exactly why I'm doing it, because the masses aren't. All right. So we'll simply see. I could be wrong. We can laugh at me tomorrow if this thing goes all the way down to $3. The funny thing is, though, that this is a very legitimate project in my eyes based off of, a decent amount of research. I definitely need to do more to talk, comprehensively about it. But, Kusama complementing this asset class with a sandbox environment, I think it's relatively smart. We know Atom. I've talked about it, for a good year or so with the Cosmos platform, obviously with, Kava Labs, all based upon the Interledger protocol. This is Ripple's baby, and all of that talk is literally reminding me of right here, technology agnostic. This is the future, guys. Just like in the video I did yesterday, if you watch that, talking about the level playing field. This is going to be the future. The assets that you are investing in that offer that same type of thing, and it's going to be based off of cold hard math and performance, those are the ones that are going to win. And I'm pretty sure, like the majority of you guys that watch this video, you already get that, that, but I'm repeating it for newcomers as well. All right, the future is incredibly bright, guys. I'm simply hoping, for my own selfish reasons, if DOT can keep riding up, specifically as some other assets maybe take a little breather. If I can scoop up some other good assets I really like, if they drop another 10%, it's going to be a mega win. And again, I'm just trying to be, a little proactive while I'm watching this market. And in my mind, and this is not just belief, this is kind of just sentiment based off of data, that this market will be reaching a higher high by end of year. We have no reason to believe otherwise. These speculative moves are, again, to work on your psychology. Keep in mind, I literally saw, like, going through social media, I see 20 and 30-year-old kids that are, literally asking for the best application to start trading stocks in 2020. You heard that right. And I mean, honestly, not to sound arrogant, but it just goes to show, and I'm clueless about other things as well, trust me, but it just goes to show how ignorance and, people just don't care, or they're just late to the game. They want to invest in the equities market when we are at an all-time high, as we are moving and basically leaving this old system to go to the new one, where it's going to be far more distributed, utilizing new technology that already shows how archaic the existing infrastructure is, that does not offer true power to the people to buy, that does not offer, buying assets that are fractionalized. But again, guys, don't be surprised to see this going up like clockwork. They rhyme, and this is on an hourly, so I'm hoping that this would happen in the next, day or so. If so, awesome. If it goes down and I completely get wrecked, I'm going to hold this guy for a long time. I think DOT could be quite promising and really threaten Ethereum. And just like Ethereum with this whole narrative, XRP with Flare is one of the best things that could ever happen to it, allowing it to scale. Ethereum doesn't scale. If you don't invest or, get into business with a business model that doesn't scale, why would you do that with a crypto asset? Just the way I'm seeing things, all right? Just remember, stay confident. All of us here in this asset class are well ahead of the curve. Typical people are just learning or finally realizing that they should be investing. And many of you have been here for 6 months, 3 years, 5 years. You are ahead of the curve, and it is simply a matter of time. This will be interesting watching what Bitcoin does in the next, 24, 48 hours in particular. And just understand, I'm expecting a bounce just like many, many people. I know I've been talking with, Chris, Mr. Level Up, really kind of guiding me with certain things. I'm so annoyed that I made some stupid trades with DOT and could have had a way better position early on as well. And I know a lot of people capitalized on it, when it was all the way down here. But again, it is impossible, no matter how good you are, to buy the bottom and sell perfectly at the top. At the end of the day, you can't be greedy, and you just have to be grateful for profits and be happy that we are taking place in this transfer of wealth in the first place. Volatility is good, and this is going to offer and capture a lot of attention. All right. So we'll see if XRP, goes down to 21, 25 cents as predicted by some people and analysts. We'll see if Bitcoin goes well below that 10,500 mark, and potentially either does a flash wick around that 9,500 region, or consolidates and actually closes there. I think we're going to see a big bounce in this market. Typical thing to scare people. I've been wrong before, but I enjoy sharing my opinion, and it's funny to see how things turn out. Regardless, I'm excited. We have seen no reason to give up on this market. Whenever prices are down, I get the most dislikes, and when prices are up, everybody likes you on YouTube, and it's really, really silly, and we have to be mindful of that and just understand and keep our eye on the prize. We are seeing cloud adoption. We are seeing digitalization, accelerated focus on payments. We are seeing DLT as the future. And it's not just because, we own crypto assets. It's simply going to occur with or without us. The banks are not investing well over $1 billion into this infrastructure for fun. They can, put a carrot in front of us and, try to convince us that this is volatile and not really going to serve a role in the future. It absolutely is. If you're paying attention to the trends, looking at some of the biggest key players in the space, they're telling you to look this way and they're doing the exact opposite time in and time again. All right, so keep an eye on these assets. Interestingly enough, remember our buddy Silver over at $26. Remember, I always joke around and say that XRP always kind of goes and chases it, minus the decimal point. And just a little dance in this market. All right, sharing that for fun. We'll see what happens. I wish you guys well. I hope you make a killing in this market, and I will see you in the next video.